And when you talk about apparel, 20% of all purchases in apparel are made online in the US, and that's similar to the UK. One more stat, this is from Conlumino. Looking at the spend per capita, so it's this second column, which is interesting. So if you look at the growth rate, America has the smallest growth rate, North America, the smallest growth rate on here, but it's still pretty healthy at 25%, 24%. Per capita, we're spending 6,000 pounds per head. The next highest is Europe, 3,500. So it's a big market, and we spend a lot. You don't need to know anything else. The pleasure is also, you hear a lot, you read a lot of headlines. You can't get away from the fact that Bowden does 30% of its sales in the US. They've been at it for a long time, and they've invested in it. You can't breathe for hearing another headline about how fantastic ASOS is doing. I think they said that they've registered their 1 millionth customer in the US as of their last quarterly results. But like anything, in the words of John Mellencamp, a famous American, it hurts so good. You've also got the pain. We know that Tesco decided to pull out of the US market. This just recently, after 5 years, they're going to lose 1.2 billion pounds from Fresh and Easy. So for every positive headline, there are lots of examples of people, particularly from the UK, who've tried and failed spectacularly. So let's look at the pain. Let's get in there a little bit and see what's so painful about it. It's a great place to be. I kind of like it over there, although I do live here. So it's a crowded market. Mickey Drexler is the head of J.Crew. You guys all know J.Crew? They're a big apparel retailer. They're actually coming here. And he's ex-Gap and Banana Republic, so he knows of what he speaks. So I know you can all read, but he's saying there are too many retailers, too many brands, too many designers, too many discount sites, and the Predator online community is selling discount like crazy. Now, he knows what he's talking about. We have 50 states, and they have 50 tax structures. So you have to collect sales tax in each state. And actually, if you're selling online into the US, there was just a ruling made that said that you now have to collect sales tax. I mean, don't quote me on the legalese, please, but you have to collect sales tax from all those 50 states, even though you don't have a physical presence. Amazon has already started collecting sales tax online. It just adds an element of complexity that you could all do without, but we've got 50 taxes. Labeling. Did you all know that when you send product into America or have a physical presence in America, you have to have the country of origin visible in the back neck? And that, again, that means you can't use a common stock pool. You've got to pull off some of that stock, sew something in the back in order to meet the US regulations. Customs and duties, it's pretty low. It's $200 is the max before a US customer gets hit with customs and duties. And that is not a pleasant experience when you've ordered from a website and then you get a call saying, by the way, you've got customs and duties that you owe on this package to get it out of customs. It's not fun for the retailer when you get that sent back. You've had to pay for it out and back because the customer won't take it. So you have to decide how you're going to treat that. Are you going to subsidize that? Are you going to make the customer pay for it? Just know it's out there. And finally, Amazon is doing a really, this is an ad that they've placed in a lot of fashion magazines in the US this spring. They are doing a very smart, concerted effort to try to sex up their fashion offering. This is competition, but it's also, you could see it as a way into the US market to get your brand known. The pain is in marketing. It's a big place. Marketing is expensive, particularly when you start out with absolutely zero brand awareness. Just because everyone knows your brand here doesn't mean we have any clue what it is in the US. So securing PR, this is LK Bennett and the Outnet, have secured PR placements in InStyle magazine. they invest in that. That takes a lot of money to get PR coverage. And PPC is also, I think it's still 15% higher in the US, it's the latest report I read, than it is in the UK. And so you've got to really consider. And affiliate networks, very well developed, but again, you need to get critical mass in your sales in order for the affiliate networks to really even pay attention to you. So just a brief digression into the models, which has already been covered off earlier tonight. You've got, Bloomingdale's is a main department store, and they have concessions. So L.K. Bennett has a concession, Ted Baker has a concession. There are lots of other British brands that have concessions in stores like this, and it's a great way into the market. Then there are people like Reese who have their own standalone stores, and Accessorize, and lots of other British high street retailers have their own stores. And then you've got just the online-only entry into the market. So what is it that we love? Because there are some things that we actually like. We love anything British. I say English there, but British in general. We love it. We're suckers for it. It's exotic, it's fun. We love English music. We love, English entertainers. So Pure and Rap. Is there anyone here from Pure or from Rap? No, but you're familiar with the brands. There are two brochure fashion brands here in the UK. In the UK, on their websites, this is how they've represented their brand. In the US, Pure says best of British style, and Rap is Rap London. I think it's a smart move. They're really, and again, there are lots more examples of British brands that totally play up their British heritage overseas. Because again, we are suckers for it. I married a British man, what can I say? What we don't like is .co.uk. We just don't get it. We are all about the .com, sorry. And so you really have to consider that when you do your URL structure and look at that. And frankly, you need to own your .com anyway, regardless of where you're trading. But Rap does raplondon.com as well. So we want to see a .com. It makes us feel better about life. We are that sad. We also love a bargain. No surprise there. This is Banana Republic in the US and Ann Taylor in the US. There's nothing surprising. They send 30% off, 40% off. They send them all the time. It's like the UK high street in that promotional activity is phenomenal. This email was sent 3 times in 1 week. And again, it'll happen again next week. So it's really, it's often I go back to the US and you see Ann Taylor has 40% off everything, the whole store, and it's not proper sale season. It's crazy. But we are a promiscuous shopper. We shop around, we look for a bargain, and we will buy if it's cheap. We also love attention. Now, this may not surprise any of you, but we do love to be cared for and looked after. This is the land of Neiman Marcus and Zappos. And attention means 24/7. It means toll-free phone number. I don't want to have to pay for it. It means I'll get an email back in 3 seconds, thank you very much. It means I have really amenable returns policy. Show me that you love me. And these guys set the bar really, really high. And unfortunately, that's the bar that everyone else has to kind of play up to. Do whatever you can to give us really great service because we expect it. What do we love? We also love attention in social media. So this just goes back to you've already heard examples of this earlier this evening. Bowden has its own social media site. There are lots of UK brands that are targeting the US that have, and other countries that have very specific Twitter feeds to those countries. And actually, the content isn't 100% different. It's probably 20% different. And it's just about local, tailoring it to local holidays and things like that. ASOS does it as well. And this, again, an example of a little goes a long way. This is not hard to do. So, what don't we like? We do not like extra letters and wrong words. I know, I'm really skating on thin ice by saying that as the only American in the room. what do I mean? Ashley Clark has very wisely decided to spell jewelry the correct way so that when you type it into Google, you see, when I type it in, I see what I want to see, which is jewelry spelled with just one L. Color, bag the U. It's C-O-L-O-R. And wallets. If I am looking for a wallet, these things are wallets. They're not purses. I won't search for a purse. I will search for a wallet. So I'll leave it up to you to amend your product mix appropriately. So this was already touched upon with regards to getting the calendar right. Again, Mother's Day in America is this Sunday. If you have a gifting business, you already know you've got to figure out what the major holidays are in your major international markets. This is from Moonpig's US website. And they tailored the message. But also know that calendars aren't just about holidays, it's also about behavior. We get paid in the US every 2 weeks. Some companies it's once a month, most companies it's every 2 weeks. Payday is not a big deal like it is here. You don't see a sales spike after payday. There are no email communications about, hey, you just got paid, come and buy at our website. It's just not, it's not part of what we think about. So if you think about what works in the UK and you try to export that to the US, that's one email that won't get you any kind of traction whatsoever. We don't always like your sense of humor. I love it personally, but we just don't get it. So some of the work I did when we launched Moonpig in the US, can you guys read that okay? Is tailor the product line to say what of all of the creative could translate to the US, what couldn't, and what needed to be modified. So modification was mum became mom, and what couldn't translate is anything sports related. We just, I know it's hard for you to believe, but we really don't give a crap about Man United. We don't understand a lot of the cricket and rugby references. And we don't say bollocks. You know, we don't. We say plenty of other stuff. But again, you probably don't notice a lot of it because it's so much a part of what you already know. But have another set of eyes really go through and say what translates, what doesn't, what won't we understand. So, in conclusion, we've got just a quick primer. Again, this is about holidays. You know, something I'll call, this isn't every holiday, but these are the ones that are major holidays. Tax day isn't a holiday, but it is on the calendar. And the reason I put that on there, that's the day our taxes are due, and everybody, it's a painful, painful day in the calendar. This is an email that was sent by Strivectin, a skincare company. And I don't know if you can read it, but it says, the stresses of tax time can leave you with serious frown lines. It's cute, and it makes you laugh. It's very topical. It went out on tax day, which I think this year was Monday. And yes, I still have to pay taxes to America, which does my head in. Just be aware. You already know all that. And here are some other terms. Again, right versus wrong. And this is with regards to your website and the user journey. I'll call your attention to shipping, overnight shipping, the date. So when you think about customizing your website and the address fields, you also have to think about how we put the date in and how we regard the date. There's a lot of confusion that comes from that is really easy to get around if you just think about it.